What is up, my little demented necrophiliacs? I'm currently playing Soulcalibur ⅵ, and I'm here just to make a video so I can show people my Mortal Kombat creations that I have created. Just as a little treat, I'm going to show you my Mortal Kombat characters which I have created. So let's have a look and see. Let's see if we can find some of them. Yes, here is Scorpion. Let's have a look at my Scorpion and see what you think. Now, when I got to see Scorpion's face in MK11, it kind of really irritated me because it kind of ruined the magic. It's like, no, this is what he looks like. I don't want to be seeing his face. Um, I'll go back into Scorpion for a second. I'll show you the weapons that they currently have. That's as good as I could get for Scorpion, weapon-wise. Now we have Ashra. Now Ashra's sword actually appeared in this game. It's called a two-handed sword, but technically it's a Chris, as you can tell. So yeah, she has a two-handed sword, and I put that. I'm so glad you can't actually see her face, really. Well, you kind of can a little bit, but when she's fighting, you can't actually see her face. That's as good as I could get for Asher. We have Jade. Now Jade is very zombified in the latest MK game, and I done a bit of research and I couldn't really find a particular style that she sticks with, because like she keeps changing her nationality and other things. So yeah, this is Jade as best as I could get her. Ta-da! Pretty neat, hey? Now I didn't want it to be overly sexy, but I was limited for clothing options that actually suited her. Here is Tanya. Tanya was created based on this particular moveset. Talum's moveset was amazing because Talum actually has the same stance and weapon as Tanya, so that was quite handy, as you can tell. Look. Tanya's skin color is a little bit off, but trust me, that's the best I could get, and I will show you just for the purpose of the video. Here's the skin tones. See, Tanya is pretty much colored. That looks cool there, look. Oh yeah, that looks epic. But Tanya is dark-skinned as best, so she has to stay the way she stays. Shiva. Now this isn't technically Shiva, it's kind of a variation on Shiva, but she's worthy of being considered a Mortal Kombat character. Shiva doesn't wear a cape, but there was one instance in a cutscene where she kind of did. Now this is Frost. The Frost that I know is this. She was just a stereotypical ninja. She wasn't any cyborg robot styled character. There you go. Last but not least, we have Katana. And she has Voldo's moveset because, of course, she has fans as weapons. So that's as good as I could get. But I think it's perfect. It suits her. Although his moveset doesn't really suit her. But some of the moves work. Now we do have another section, so let's go over there and let's see who else we can find from Mortal Kombat. Baraka. Ta-da! What do you think? So these are my creations from Mortal Kombat. Pretty neat, hey? You can make up to 200 characters in this game, and I currently have 63 left out of 100, so that's pretty neat. I can... There's no other characters worth showing you, but I'll show you a few unusual characters which I've created. This character is called Flesh Fly. Now she could technically be a Mortal Kombat character. She has a red thing because she's after like slicing your blood. So Flesh Fly, she's actually meant to be a walking fly. Flyettes. Another obscure character. Quite a few. They're all really original. That's the one thing I have to say about my creations. There's never really two the same. Well, there could be, but there'll always be a third that's different. I mean, I can't help that Foxy Brown and Cleopatra Jones happen to look alike. This character, Deathbox. I wanted to make a walking TV that sucks you in, and that's pretty much what I did. You know, and I chose that weapon specifically because it reminded me of an aerial trying to get a signal. See, there's meaning behind everything. There is another one of those characters, but I have to see. I probably would have made it. There it is, Video Wave. It's similar. She kind of brain waves you with her video waves. When the box comes off, their faces are completely black with face paint, of course. So you don't actually get to see what they look like. Now this character, Ruby Thursday, she's actually a Marvel villain, and she goes around with a giant ball on her head that can project whatever she desires. And if her body is failing, she can take her head off and put it on another body. So if she has multiple bodies of herself, so if this one is getting exhausted after fighting She-Hulk for like 10 hours, take her head off, put it on another version of herself, and she can go for another 10. I say that because She-Hulk doesn't enjoy that character very much, and Ruby Thursday would be kind of the screwball to She-Hulk. Let's see, there's another character which I wanted to show you called Elora, and she just doesn't seem to be appearing. Here she is. Elora. She's out of a short story that I wrote. That's her brain. And she can control the earth, the clouds, and the sun and the moon. She's a moon goddess that's trying to protect Earth from self-destruction. Elora. And I wanted her to have ripped clothes because I wanted her to, like she's been in the wars. Because at the start of the short story I wrote, she's running away. Now this character here, I may as well show you. I tried to create Tank Girl with the rocket bikini, but it didn't quite work out. There wasn't really punk hairstyles or whatnot. And to cut a long story short, I ended up making this character that's just a bit stupid, I guess. Ah, I haven't deleted her because she's different. So that's the only reason she's managing to stay around, I guess. Kind of like I'm gonna like write a little story about her. She's like a burlesque dancer that can handle herself if she has to. I'm a burlesque dancer, but if I have to hold a sword, I can hold my own. I'm not very. I can hold it for a little. This one is actually so simple and effective. I wanted to create a Roman goddess, and I fucking did pretty much. Wow, her breasts are big, but they suit the character. Yeah, so I wanted to create like a Roman goddess, just a stereotypical basic warrior, and I think I completed this. This character here was based on somebody that I actually went out with. Their name is Lily, and they're a big fan of Stan Lee. So I decided to call them Lily Lee. Now, most of these characters appear in my wrestling game, and I have to say, this character looks exactly 100% the same in wrestling as she does in Soulcalibur ⅵ, except for two things. The tool belt with all the accessories, and the sword. Other than that, she looks exactly the same. So that's pretty neat. It could be considered a bit weird that I created a character, but it's kind of like a tradition now because I actually like the style of the character. So yeah. Um, Cleopatra Jones. She'd be based more on the second movie than the first, because in the first movie she doesn't use swords, but in the second movie she has an epic sword fight, and she does use a staff for one of the fights. That's just a random character with a goat head. This character now, I put a lot of effort in, but I don't really like her to be honest. But yeah, I wanted to make a blind fighter, and or somebody who was wearing a mask. They're not necessarily blind, but they wear blindfolds. Um, I wanted to make her petite, but also very strong, and that's why she has a gold sickle to match her outfit. Now she is wearing a steering wheel on her head, and I put a mesh wire netting on top of the boat steering wheel and a few other things, and then I put a bow on it to make it look like a hat. So there you go. You have to think outside the box in this game. Sheila. Okay, I'll show you Sheila. And then I'll show you one more. Sheila is the grandmother from the movie The Witches by Roald Dahl. Um, yeah. Every character I create has to have their double, somebody that's their rival. It makes better sense that way because you get more diversity then when you're creating characters, you know. So she would be the rival towards the Grand High Witch, and she pretty much is a white witch within the movie. So yeah, I gave her that staff because I wanted her to have the same weapon as the Grand High Witch, but a good version of it. I'll show you the Grand High Witch if I can. Now, most of these would have been created straight after, but because there's a lot of characters that were edited, I'll show you now if I can. Like this guy here with the background. Characters with that particular background are just a random creation because they have a button in the creation mode that says random. I'll show you, and then I'll show you the Grand High Witch. So if I don't change the background like so, I haven't really created the character, or I haven't finished creating it. So let's do this. Generate at random, yeah. So I done that with a lot of cards. Oh my god. Fucking idiots. Ooh. I done it with a lot of characters. I just generated at random. So there was a lot of characters that I didn't do an awful lot with. But I will point out, like, sometimes I generate at random and I get somebody hopefully cool. Yeah, look at that. That's a bit alternative and cool. I don't like the purple though, but it's a bit alternative. So if I came across something like that when I generated at random, I'd possibly keep them and come back to them later and edit them. But so there was a lot of spaces taken up with just random characters. So that's why the equals aren't beside each other, because I would have probably had to go down and choose another character. Here is the Grand High Witch. Ta-da! Out of the witches. I think she looks amazing. She's my favourite character in this game because she's so simplistic, gothic, and amazing. So she is. There's lots of other characters too. Someone I went out with created this character a long time ago. And she just stuck with me, so I recreated her. She is based... She's just a tribal warrior, but she's pretty. So she is. And then I have a little story in the mind for her where she's able to control orangutans. And the orangutans are her friends and protect her. I'll show you two more characters and we'll leave it at that. There's a lot of good characters, but I'll just show you this character Formaldehyde. I kind of got a bit adventurous with the spikes again. Yep. Just wanted to create a wacky, fucked up chick. One of my more glamorous characters. It's a shame I couldn't put a sash. But I wanted to create a crazy Miss World who hates to lose. You know, she has her scepter and her gold-plated shield. I don't like losing, so I'm going to beat the shit out of you. I haven't quite come up with a perfect quote that suits her, but it's kind of like she's a Miss World character that doesn't age because she got her body cryogenically frozen and she doesn't like to lose at anything. So she takes on the world. One shield and scepter at a time. Isn't that great? Now this character was meant to be Emily Lestrange, but then she just turned into some epic goth chick called Matilda. I think she's really cool. I do have another character that I can show you. Well, there's She-Hulk, there's Jubilee, Mystique, Squirrel Girl. I'll show you Squirrel Girl after Black Widow. There's my Black Widow. Now, Black Widow is not in no way associated with Marvel or DC. She's just an original creation that I've always kind of made based on the spider because I think it's cool. Yeah, I think she looks pretty neat. She was going to get a scepter and a shield, and I said no. That looks good, but it's a crap moveset. And then I found that sword, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty neat. There's She-Hulk. I will show you Squirrel Girl. Ta-da! Oh, I never showed you Squirrel Girl's weapon. But I don't think she has... Oh, of course she has a weapon, but I think she has the projectile. Oh no, she doesn't. She has two wooden sticks from a tree. That's pretty, Squirrel Girl, alright. I do have a lot of leprechauns. Well, they're not leprechauns. I call them the Celestians. And here's one of them. She's an Irish warrior from my short story. And they use this particular sword because they can cut the corn and the vegetables. This is no, don't be laughing, like this is actually true. This is what I created. So they can cut the vegetables and stuff with the sword, and then they can fight off any savory characters that try to act a maggot. And they're Celestians, and they're really beautiful people. Um, Ming, Ming looks pretty much the same as she does in wrestling and this game. Yeah, famous Debbie. I may as well show you Debbie after this, just because. Now this is TNT. TNT is based on Armageddon. She's actually a movie character, but she definitely doesn't look like the movie character, so it's just an original creation based on the blaxploitation franchise. She I created her in Armageddon, and she looked zombified and was kind of like Death by Disco, you know. And my vision for her, I drew a picture of her a long time ago. She she um she had waves coming, sound waves coming out of her eyes that would hypnotize people into dancing till they die or some shit, you know, kind of like Death by Disco. But then I just, ah, it was just a little idea that I had. Or she'd go around with a boom box or some shit. Here's the famous Debbie. She looks exactly how she looks in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Pretty much exactly, looks exactly like that. But she has a different belt, of course. And she doesn't have that sword. I don't think she has a weapon, does she? She probably does. But anyway, that weapon went with the character, so that's pretty much what she has. She's the only character to have a background that's not actually a background. And I was going to change it because I like having the realistic backgrounds. It makes them look a bit better, like they're actually in a universe of some description. But she was the first character I created, and that's the background she got. So that's pretty much how she's going to stay, I guess. I don't use her an awful lot because Ivy's moveset is very difficult and tricky to use. Oh, poor little Heidi. I'll have to show you Heidi. I wanted to create a skeleton wearing a dress, and I did. And she was super weak because the clothing actually, if you have armor on you, it takes a long time for your life to go down compared to not having any armor at all. You know, so the armor actually helps you. And it decreases damage when you're being attacked in this game. So what I had to do was I had to give her a hat or something. And I did. I ended up giving her a hat, and it worked out better actually, to be honest with you. And she doesn't die as fast, but she's still not very good. It's a shame, really. But yeah, she doesn't die as fast as she was dying. Because I kept getting the shit kicked out of me with her. I played her a little bit, and I was like, I'm dying so fast with this character. Like, maybe the moveset is shit. It's Mitsuguri's. And I was like, maybe his moveset is crap. And then I realized, oh, she has no armor. She's just walking around in a dress. So the more layers you have on, the better. There's another Celestian. Well, she's not. She's based in the same story. So she is. Um, Pretty cool, yeah. I do have some Magic the Gathering characters, so maybe I will show you them. Renee. Oh, I'll show you Renee first. Renee was based on the grandmother from the witches, but then I decided I would just make um, the witch's companion. Do remember the character that walked around with her? That yeah, so I made the witch's companion. And then yeah. Jacqueline, I'll show you Jacqueline. Jacqueline is fucking sexy. Jacqueline is hot. Look at that. Nice big succubus. I was going to call her Lilith or Morgana, and I was like, no, I'd just be original. Jacqueline is great. So let's have a look at some of the Magic the Gathering characters. This is Grandmother Sengar. Now, Grandmother Sengar is locked in a tower for life, a church tower for life. She is chained up with those chains that bind her. This is her backstory. I created her based on her story and the Magic the Gathering card itself. And her weapon, her moveset is projectiles, so she can project weapons, and that kind of just suits the character down to a T. Celerus Songbird. Yeah. Celerus Songbird, pretty cool. I think she looks like the character. Auspicious Ancestor. Now, this character doesn't look really like the card. She does a little bit. I mean, you have to understand, we can only see the bust, like, meaning the tummy up. We don't see a full frontal. Is that not a bust? I know a bust is a breast as well, but yeah, actually, I think, yeah, we only see the bust of some of the characters in the pictures, like, the bust up. Fugitive Wizard, as best I could. He also projects things because he's a wizard, of course. Makes sense to me. Vincenza. I think that's all my Magic the Gathering characters. Celerus Songbird. An Auspicious Ancestor. Grandmother Sengar. Fugitive Wizard. And my other favourite Magic the Gathering cards can't actually be created because they're sea monsters and stuff, so... I will show you, there's another character. Irene is a barmaid out of my story. And she can handle herself when she has to. So someone gave me the challenge of making Marge Simpson, and I made her. And I said she has long blue hair now and again, so that's handy, that'll do. And my particular friend was like, not cool. You could have done better, John. Come on, think outside the box. Do it. You can do this. Come on. So I did. I thought outside the box, and I created a second Marge Simpson. What do you think, Marge? I haven't used her, and I don't intend to. But she's there now, and yeah. Fuck you, friend. I created her. Pretty much it. Or this character is totally different. I wanted to create a chef called Beatrice because she can beat you up because she beats eggs to make stuff. She's a bakery chef. Beatrice, beat the eggs, Beatrice. And then I was like, she needs a mixer as a weapon. And then I was like, perfect. Giant mixer. There you go. She probably should be a little bit bigger. But, yeah. That's pretty much it. There's loads more, but I can't be bothered. Later.